Freedom Radio.
This is Freedom Global News.
Academic Staff Union of Universities extend ongoing strike by 12 weeks.
This is
Court refuses CBN governor's request to restrain INEC and Attorney General ambition. Families of Kaduna-Abuja train passengers insist on the return of abductees before train resumes. And on the foreign scene, polls close in the Philippines in historic election of new president.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 9th of May 2022, which is equivalent to the 8th of Shawwal 1443 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has extended its ongoing strike by 12 weeks. The decision was reached after a meeting of the union's National Executive Council, NEC, on Sunday at its University of Abuja Secretariat. Correspondent Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa reports.
In a statement issued after the meeting, ASU President Emmanuel Asodiki said the 12 weeks extension takes effect from Monday, May 9th, 2022. He said the extension is aimed at giving the government more time to satisfactorily resolve issues. The National Executive Council of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, met in Abuja last night over its 12-week strike. The meeting was expected to decide whether ASU would suspend or extend the strike. It could be recalled that the union had on February 14th embarked on a warning strike to compel the federal government to meet its demands. The demands include the call for the government to implement the agreements signed in December 2020 on funding for revitalization of public universities. Other demands were the earned academic allowances, the negotiation of the 2009 agreement, and the deployment of the University Transparency and Accountability Solutions (UTAS), among others. Meanwhile, the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities yesterday reiterated the need for the government and the ASU to resolve the crisis. The chairman of the committee, Professor Samuel Adumio Kumo, said this in Abuja yesterday in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria. He said it was crucial for both parties to come to an agreement to end the strike as soon as possible. He urged both sides to honor agreements entered into for academic activities to commence in the affected universities. Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa, Freedom Radio.
Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Students vows to block all federal roads and airports in the country to protest the 12-week extension of the strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. In a statement issued by NAN's President Sunday Asefon today, he condemned the inaction of the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari over the industrial action, which started on February 14th, 2022. NAN's president affirmed that students of public universities would disrupt primary elections and conventions by political parties scheduled for May ending. A federal high court in Abuja has refused the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Godwin Emefiele's request to restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Abubakar Malami, preventing him from his presidential ambition. The CBN governor today told the court in Abuja that he can run for the post of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria without vacating his position as the CBN governor. The CBN governor, through his counsel, Mike Ozekome, told the court that Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act as amended 2022 does not affect him being a public servant and not a political appointee. The court, in its ruling, however, refused the request, and the judge ordered him, the CBN governor, to put the defendants, INEC and AGF, on notice and also serve court processes on them. The judge also ordered the defendants to appear before him on May 12th to show cause why the CBN governor's request should not be granted. Emefiele had asked the court to declare him qualified to contest for the presidential post. The prayer was part of the 7 reliefs the CBN boss sought in the suit. Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, or watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The relatives of and friends of 62 passengers captured on the Abuja-Kaduna train have warned that the train service must not resume until all abducted passengers are rescued. The Nigeria Railway Corporation had hinted last week that repair on the rail track had been completed, even though it did not specifically state when the train service would resume. However, in a press conference in Kaduna today, relatives of the abducted passengers demanded the quick and safe rescue of their relatives being held hostage. They also stated that the Abuja-Kaduna train service must not resume until all the abducted passengers are rescued and adequate security measures are put in place to guarantee the safety of prospective passengers. Speaking through their spokesperson, Dr. Abdul Fatai Jimo, the families of the abducted passengers accused the NRC of disregarding President Muhammadu Buhari's directive to engage with them minute by minute. President Buhari had directed the NRC to set up a situation room for the coordination of the rescue mission for the passengers and a minute-by-minute engagement with the families of the captives. It could be recalled that terrorists had on March 28, 2022, planted explosives that derailed train AK-9 while on its last lap from Abuja to Kaduna, northwest Nigeria. The terrorists had killed 9 people and abducted over 60 people before they later released the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Ali Hassan. And on the sporting arena, Flying Eagles forward Ibrahim Muhammad was named man of the match following the team's 2-0 win against the Black Satellites of Ghana in their opening game at the Wafu B Under-20 Championship yesterday. Correspondent Mohammed San Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
Ibrahim Muhammad scored Flying Eagles' opening game in the 5th minute. The striker received a long Adams Ulubi pass from the middle before rounding up goalkeeper Gregory Obengsekeri. The victory in the 3-team group has taken the Flying Eagles to the top of the table, and a draw in their next game against Burkina Faso will confirm their place in the semi-finals. Muhammad, who is a product of Tempo Academy in Nigeria, must have impressed a number of scouts in attendance at the Stade Seni Konche in Niamey. Meanwhile, Samuel Chukwueze has been recognized by his outstanding performance for Villarreal in the last round of matches in the Spanish top flight, with Football Statistics website naming the Nigeria international in a team of the week. 5 days after Villarreal crashed out of the UEFA Champions League at the semi-final stage, Chukwueze helped the Yellow Submarine maintain a late push for European football, starring in a 1-1 draw with Sevilla at La Ceramica. In another update, David Beckham has urged Cristiano Ronaldo not to leave Manchester United this summer. The former Red Devil star made this known in a chat with Sky Sports, where he said that the Portuguese international still has a lot to contribute to the team. With new manager Erik ten Hag coming this summer, Ronaldo could leave the club despite having a year left on his contract. Manchester United are stumbling toward the end of the campaign and thrashing by Brighton. And on basketball, Nigeria's Chima Monoke has been named the most valuable player of the 2021-2022 Basket Championship League season. The 26-year-old, who debuted for Nigeria at the 2021 FIBA Afro Basket Championship, plies his trade with Basi Manresa in the Spanish Basketball Liga and awarded the most valuable after an outstanding season, where he scored an average of 13.1 points per game in the BCL this season. The award was presented by Juan Maria Abuto, Mayo of Bilbao, during the season award ceremony that took place at the Sociedad Filarmónica de Bilbao at the weekend. Mohammed Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
On this day, 9th May 1987, one of the founders of modern Nigeria and the first premier of the Western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, died. Correspondent Aisha Muhammad Eliman has more on this and other historical events.
Chief Obafemi Jeremiah Oyeniyi was born on 6th March 1909. He was a Nigerian nationalist and a statesman who played a key role in Nigerian independence movement. The son of the Yoruba farmer, was the truly self-made man among his contemporaries. Meanwhile, today in history, in 1979, Libyan leader Colonel Gaddafi visited Nigeria and was received at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport by late former President General Sani Abacha. On the same day in 1960, Nigeria became a member of the British Commonwealth. Aisha Muhammad Eliman, Freedom Radio.
And on business, Muhammad Abba Abdullahi has updates.
Nigeria was unable to produce about 22.66 million barrels of crude oil valued at 1.22 trillion naira in the first quarter of this year due to its persistent inability to meet the crude oil production quota approved by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. An analysis of data contained in various OPEC reports released in different months this year shows that Nigeria failed to meet its oil production quotas in January, February, and March 2022. Report says that Nigerian crude oil production fell short of the OPEC-approved quota in January by 270,000 barrels daily. In February, the daily production loss when compared to what OPEC approved for Nigeria, which was 323,000 barrels, while in March, the country's daily oil production was 364,000 barrels, lesser than the OPEC-approved target. Meanwhile, restrictions on cryptocurrency transactions and the ban of Twitter in Nigeria crippled foreign direct investment in the financial technology industry and adversely impacted millions of young Nigerians earning a living from the sector. The report entitled Africa's Urbanization Dynamic 2022, The Economic Power of Africa's Cities, published, said young people engage in jobs in the tech sector to survive, but this can be adversely affected by the varying government policies. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, millions of Filipinos voted onto choosing a new president in an election pitting the son of the Philippines' late strongman against a liberal human rights lawyer. Polls closed across the Southeast Asian nation at 7 p.m. with a record-breaking 67 million people registered to cast their ballot. There will be no second round. Elections Commissioner George Garcia told reporters early today that he expected a huge turnout. Polls officially closed at 7 p.m., but election authorities said those waiting in line would be allowed to vote after the deadline. The counting of ballots was supposed to begin right away, but unconfirmed reports on social media suggest that the election had been marred by delays and possible discrepancies. Voting stations across the Philippines have reportedly been unable to or slow to scan paper ballots, leading some Filipinos to fear that their votes will not be counted after they were told to leave them with officials. Others allege that vote buying, manipulation, and even violence have been used to sway voters. And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities
freedom.